In this video, I'll show you how to select multiple cells in LibreOffice Calc. Hi, my name is Michael, and I make quick tips and tutorials on how to use Calc software. So I'll first go through ways that you could just use your mouse to select multiple cells. It's pretty easy and straightforward. Here I have a few cells with letters in them. If I wanted to choose them, I could just click and drag my mouse over to the selection that I want. In this case, I have it selected from cell C6 to D8. When I release my mouse, it stays selected. Here, I could do various things such as cut or copy or even paste. I could even click and drag to move my selection to some other area within the spreadsheet. Now, if we wanted to select just one cell, is to click on which cell you wanted, but drag it out into a second cell adjacent to it. As you can notice here, the background of both cells I've selected are highlighted blue. Then, without releasing the mouse, I can move it back to just the one cell I wanted to move, and then I can click and drag and move just one cell away. So I'll do that for a few of these just to have fun. But you get the point. But now, if I wanted to select cells that are not necessarily next to each other, I could use a mouse and a keyboard shortcut, or down here on the status bar, left click and choose adding selection. This means every cell I click on will be added to the original selection that I have made. I could cut these, or I could just hit the delete key and things like that. However, I cannot click and drag and move the selection anymore, because click and drag to move only works for one cell or for cells that are all adjacent to each other. And lastly, with the mouse, here's the option. It's called extending a selection. I chose it and I can click some other places. In this case, it's not really doing anything for me because I've already selected multiple cells that are dispersed. What I really want to do to show how this works is only to select one cell first. To undo my selection, I can go back to the standard and then click on a cell. Now only one cell is chosen, and go back to extending selection and click around to see what happens. As you may have noticed, the first cell that I selected, which is G25, it's acting as an anchor, and when I click around, it basically forms a rectangle or square of the selection based on the anchor cell that I chose. I'll switch back to standard selection and click a cell. To do the same thing, we could actually, instead of using the status bar and switching around, a faster way is just to use keyboard shortcuts. So if I wanted to do an extending selection, hold down the shift key on my keyboard, and then I can click around, and it basically does the same thing as extending selection. And then if I wanted to add selection, I could hold down the control key and then choose specific cells, or even click and drag a range of cells, and this would be added to my selection. So that's it. There you have it. I went through basically 3 different ways to select multiple cells in LibreOffice Calc. If you have any questions, or if there's other things you'd like to learn, feel free to add them to the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay nifty.